All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Abundance Formula podcast. Hope you guys had an awesome 4th of July. We had a really great 4th of July, actually. What did we do? Oh, yeah, we just pretty much grilled and chilled. It's hard for me to remember, honestly, because I was so exhausted by last weekend. I was really just hanging on by a thread. So Saturday, which I think was the first, we had my niece's first birthday party, and so we attended that. But I was just so exhausted. Our girls have been going through just a sleep transition the past 2 months. We've moved our littlest Sailor, who's 1.5, into her same room with her sister because she was not staying in her crib. So nobody's been sleeping well. They're on the top and bottom bunk. Both of our girls always kind of want us to lay with them for a minute to get them each to sleep. And so I'll lay with the littlest one first on the bottom bunk. She's asleep. Then I go to the top bunk, get her to sleep, go to our room. If the littlest one starts waking up and kind of having a crying fit, she started into that kind of bad dream phase for little ones and toddlers. They kind of start having bad dreams at that age. So then she'll wake up her big sister. So then I go back in and do the relaying down with both of them separately again. And sometimes this happens, 1 to 2, sometimes 3 times a night. So it really just stacked on me. So by Saturday, I was so exhausted when we finished the birthday party. I told my husband, I was like, my body's telling me I have to go down. So I ended up laying down and I slept for 18 hours. So that was really great. So at least I got that in before the 4th of July. So then for the 4th, we had a great time with friends and family and just grilled and chilled, and it was great. So hope you all had a great 4th of July as well and are getting your rest. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. There's this beautiful thunderstorm happening outside right now. Hear the rain? I'm excited to see if you can actually hear it when I listen back to this upon editing, but it's just the most beautiful rainstorm outside right now. So anyways, grateful for today, grateful for the weekend, grateful for some rest. But today's topic that I want to dive into with you guys, I think you're going to like it. And it's how to stop keeping your own damn self from reaching your goals. So we are often our biggest sabotage. We always self-sabotage. And the biggest thing is we don't realize that we're doing it most of the time. So what spawned this topic for me is actually the other week, my client and I, one of my personal training clients and I, were having this really great conversation. I was like, I have got to use this as an example for everyone, because whether it's a fitness goal or a personal goal, a business goal, whatever it is, this same life concept translates throughout, and it's what people often miss. Okay, we start chasing the wrong rabbits as to why we're not reaching our goals, either at the speed of which we want to, or at all. And this is why. Okay, so the key is you have to figure out why you're doing these self-sabotaging behaviors, and you have to actually take the time to sit down and figure out what are the self-sabotaging behaviors. So with this particular example, so this client had been doing really well for quite some time, and then she had kind of fallen off the bandwagon with like really wanting ice cream at night and was eating ice cream and a lot of sweets at night. So of course this was pulling her back from her fitness goal. And so she was like, I just can't figure out why I'm wanting ice cream so bad. And, just ended up eating it. And so then she had started like a negative loop where she would know that she wanted and was going to have ice cream at the end of the day. So then she would eat less during the day so that then maybe the ice cream wasn't so bad in the evening. So when I talked to her about this, I said, okay, so this is the interesting thing to me about fitness. And this was one of the reasons I actually created this podcast as well, is because fitness, life, whatever, so many people actually weren't aware of the mind, how important the mind is as the starting point for all the other things that are the symptom that you see outside of yourself. So in this example, I said, so you're eating ice cream at night. Why do you think that you feel the desire to eat ice cream at night? Like, what's happening? And she's like, well, because it tastes good. And I was like, well, other foods taste good too, though. So why is it ice cream? Why is it something that is going to keep you back from your goals? And she was like, well, I think maybe I get a little sugar rush from it. It makes me feel good. So maybe it's a dopamine hit. And I said, okay, we're getting somewhere. So at night, your body is desiring a quick dopamine hit. Why do you think that is? And she's, well, maybe it's because recently I've been struggling getting my kids to sleep, and it's just such a chore. And I'm so exhausted by the time I do that. When I finish, I feel like I just want this really quick dopamine hit, this instant gratification to make myself feel good after all that I just went through. And I was like, okay, so now we're getting somewhere again. So we're really seeking a quick dopamine hit to kind of lift your spirits after a struggle of getting the kids to sleep. And she's like, yeah, that's definitely it. And I said, okay, well, are there some other things you can think of Like right now, you're not in the stressor. You're not currently putting your kids to sleep right now. So can you think of some other things that you think could give you an equally as much so dopamine hit, this quick feel good fix that you're looking for to lift your spirits after this ordeal that you know is going to happen every night right now, just like I'm going through. And I was like, is there something else you can think of that might make you feel just as good, but it's a different thing that doesn't actually like move you backwards from your goal? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I definitely get a similar level of happiness. She's looking for happiness, a happiness fix, a quick happiness fix from taking a bath and or taking her own just private personal walk or sitting and having some time to just flip freely through social media without feeling bad about it or feeling like she's having to multitask or to read a book for a minute on something she's wanting to learn about or just escape into. So we came up with a lot of different things. She had a lot of options. She had a lot of tools in her toolbox, but she hadn't connected the two things that like it wasn't really ice cream she desired. That was just the nearest thing in her toolbox that in her brain made the most sense. But when she had the time and got intentional about thinking about it, it wasn't ice cream. It was the happiness fix. It was the dopamine fix. It was a quick influx. And when she has the time to think about it, there's so many other things that she came up with that for her, and I asked, like, she came up with them as to what she knew would also made her feel equally as much as happy as that would, which was really the goal. That was really the why behind the ice cream, that she could go do those things then. And then she knew that that would stack happiness upon happiness because then after she did those things, not only would she feel happier, but then she'd also continue to feel happy because after doing those things, she wouldn't then feel bad, like she was now less close to her goal than where she started. So this is a key thing that whether it's fitness or like I said, anything else, there's self-sabotaging behaviors we have that we implement inadvertently while we're in the pursuit of a goal. And we need to take a moment if we realize we're not hitting something or moving forward in a place we're wanting to. We need to take the time when we're not in the thick of the stressors of the day to say, why am I actually doing these things? Like, why am I doing the thing? Why am I overspending my money? What is the thing? And take the time to sit down and figure out what is the real why behind why I am doing these self-sabotaging behaviors. And then you can add to your toolbox. You can figure out what the feeling, what the emotional tie is to the thing, and you can find other substitutes that actually move you towards your goal, or at least don't move you backwards and still solve the issue. And so again, that's one method. And then part two of that is, so that's kind of solving the immediate symptom, replacing the bad action for something that's better. That's a good thing. But it's also then important to take the time to find the original root cause of the thing. So in the client example, so we're like, okay, so that is something that we can do to solve the present issue that happens at night. But let's see where this started. Like when did this start? Okay, my kids stopped sleeping good. Our kids are like literally the exact same age. So we're like both in this same sleep deprivation situation. So same thing for her a couple months ago. So she started getting really tired. So she started to forget to eat all the food that's part of her food plan. She gets to eat a lot of food. She gets a lot of carbs. She gets a lot of fats. She's an exerciser. So, she started getting tired, so forgetting to eat. So then her body, rightfully so, was starting to crave carbs, fats, things because it was feeling depleted. So then that would hit her at night at the same time as this need to feel happy. And so it would look for something very high and all of those things that really, though, at night, it wasn't going to utilize or use that stuff. It was just going to go to bed on it. And it was, it wasn't the right things. But her body, though, was rightfully so needing something, trying to tell her something. And so she's like, oh, yeah. So I stopped eating as much. And then once she knew, she started getting the cycle of the ice cream and it became this happiness fix that she almost looked forward to, but then again, also hated by the next day. She then would purposefully eat less carbs or fats or calories in general in the day because then she knew, well, maybe this will make it less terrible than when I binge on ice cream at night. So then it just kept that depletion going. And so as we sat down and looked where the root was that she started getting tired and so forgetting to eat. Okay, well, so how can we address that then? Okay, so I'm going to start asking for help, asking my husband, can you help me with getting some food prepped so that I have quick things even available so that if is too tired to do a whole cook fest, because that's real life, that then you've got quick things that you can put together that are healthy options that can fill the need of eating and giving you fuel so that by the nighttime you really aren't that depleted and scrounging for the fastest, quickest thing that isn't ultimately good for you. And your brain honestly isn't thinking straight to make good decisions. These are things that we don't realize. Once you've got started that snowball, you guys, when your mind then isn't supported with your physical health, like then you don't make as good decisions. You're not set up to make better intentions. You're not set up to create the life of abundance that you want. And so, a lot of people do ask me how, why, like, what's the whole tie-in with my whole brand of like there being physical fitness stuff, say in my Instagram feed, but then also all this personal development stuff. It's like because mind, body, soul are three integral pieces to abundant living. Your body is the house for your mind, and your mind runs everything else. So you need to keep your body healthy so that your mind can be healthy so you can make the proper decisions to then also create fulfillment in your soul and do all the things you're wanting to do with your life. So that particular example is super helpful and it translates to other things. What are the actual tools you can put in your toolbox that will replace the negative self-sabotaging thing that you're doing that's pulling you back from your goals so you can still get the happiness fix you need, that you can get the, relief to your spirit that you need. We are all human and we are all going to have those times that you're tired and you want to just feel happy and right now, or you want to feel that feeling, right? But there are so many other ways to get the same scientific feeling, but you just have to have those tools ready in your toolbox so that then when the time comes, you are at the ready to use them. And they're the ones that are on top. They are the tools that are on top of your nice organized toolbox. And the bad things are down below. So you don't get to those as quickly. And you also then form a new habit of grabbing the healthy things and start looking forward to those things. Ask your husband for the 10-minute bath after you fight and you get the kids down. Can you have a 10 or 15-minute bath? Let him know you need that. Like, hey, I've been doing ice cream, which is setting me back from my goals. And I know that I would not do that if I could have a 10-minute, 15-minute bath with a candle, with my face mask and all the things and my music, whatever it is. I'm just totally throwing out an example. These are things she and I just talked about, right? Ask for help. Set yourself up to succeed in these different areas or whatever it is. Give me 10 minutes to read a book that I want. Give me whatever, or let me watch one show. Whatever the thing is, develop the toolbox for the real reason why you're reaching for or doing the self-sabotaging behaviors. And then most importantly, to long-term really address the issues is to find the root cause. And, depending on the topic of conversation, the root cause could be something that is further back in your childhood. And it can be scary to go back to have to dig into that. But the reality is, if you're listening to this podcast, you desire change in your life, which means you're going to need to disrupt past broken thought patterns, belief systems. You're going to have to address those to build something better, to stop functioning from a broken system. You can't expect different results if you keep going back to the previous broken system. So depending on what it is, so example, if it's money issues, there's a root cause for money issues. And if you really want to get better results with your money, then you do need to take the time to sit down and figure out, why are you getting not the outcomes you're looking for with your money? Or why is the progress moving slowly? And where was the original root cause? Were you raised in a family that had a scarcity mentality and everything was save, 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 and don't invest, don't spend, don't whatever? Or was it a family that overspent and never had things within their, what was the issue? What were the examples that you saw? Or was it just something for yourself? What is it? Dig down and figure it out. Because the sooner that you're just aware of it, nobody's going to come at you and be like, making you feel lesser because of whatever that root cause was, but just you got to fix it. At some point, you can't just keep looking away from what the root cause is and expect anything to change. That's just the hashtag real life for you guys. So if you really want to reach your future goals in a specific area, in multiple areas, and you just know that you feel stuck or you're not moving the way you should, if you take time to sit down and address these two areas, you will start progressing not only to those goals, but a lot faster. And you'll stop taking the, 5 steps forward, 10 steps back, and you're going to get where you want to go a lot faster and feel good while you're doing it. You're going to feel good in the journey. You're not going to feel so run down by the journey to get to where you want to go. And again, as you've done these things, you can help other people along the way. This is past work that I've done for myself and that my mom has done on herself. I can't wait to have her on the podcast. Like, I just need to schedule it because she's got a great story of overcoming bulimia, and she's, aiming for her pro card this year in the IFBB. Like, we've got to, like, these are things that we've lived out in practice. So when this client then was having this struggle, this is areas I know how to then help people because I've been through this process. And you can then do the same thing for other people, whatever this area is. As you've finally done this work, you're going to hear other people talking about having these same struggles, and then you can give that back to other people. And that's so fulfilling on the way to everything. So I hope this was a helpful conversation today. We all want to hit our goals. That's one of the biggest things that I get asked about is like how to reach your goals, how to stay motivated, but like how to reach your goals. How do you goal set? How do you reach your goals? All the time. So it's time to stop preventing your own damn self from getting there and get down to why it is you're doing the self-sabotaging behaviors that are pulling you backwards and what is the root cause. Build your toolbox so that you can then be set up for success. If this was helpful for you guys, make sure you share it with somebody. Tag me if you do, if it's on social media. Appreciate you all so much. Make sure to leave a 5-star review. Those are super helpful. And can't wait to see y'all next week. We've got some really exciting guests coming up. So make sure you're tuning in every week for that. I've got somebody really, really, really cool that's coming on next week, and I can't wait for y'all to meet her. So make sure you stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed, and that you join the Abundance Formula community group because a lot of announcements are there as well. So hope you all have a great week. Hope you had a happy 4th, and I'll see you next week. Catch you later.